Jim from Waltham, Mass. sent me an email, and he said, I don't want to get into a discussion necessarily on fees and commissions, but obviously I have to. It's unavoidable at this point. How do you talk about commissions, Don? How do you talk about fees, Don? Jim, what I try to tell people is this. Commissions and fees are simply the cost of doing business. I think this discussion, by the way, should only be a problem for any reps that hawk products. When I was a kid in the business, we had all the data at the brokerage firms. If somebody wanted to know about General Motors, they had to come to us to get a tear sheet to read about General Motors. Now all the information is on the internet. So one of the byproducts of being available on the internet is all the data is commoditized. And when the data is commoditized and accessible to the consumer, that bodes very poorly for those reps who hawk products. Obviously, the advisor who's going to get the business is the advisor that understands the big picture. So having said that, and if you get the big picture and the person appreciates the fact that you do, commissions and fees is simply the cost of doing business. And Jim, I would tell people the biggest fee they're ever going to face is poor performance. So the question really is not what are your fees and commissions, it's do I need to pay to have an advisor in my corner? That's the way I construe it in any event. And the answer is yeah, people behave better with a professional in their corner. So I would say to people, in terms of commissions, it's my job, and this was told to me by a friend at Edward Jones. He says it very, very well. It is my job to get you the best possible investments with the least amount of risk and the most favorable tax consequences. That's why I get paid. Are you okay with that? I think that's a really good way to put it. I have another friend who looks at people and says, why are you asking me about fees or commissions? Are you commission conscious or results conscious? Oh, we're results conscious. We just want to know fees and commissions. Well, if you're results conscious, understand again, commissions and fees are the cost of doing business. And the emphasis should not be on how much I make. It should be on how much you make. Obviously, if somebody's commission driven, they've got to go to the internet and trade it for some firm where they can trade for a few dollars. If they're results conscious, pretty much commissions are all the same and really is the cost of doing business. So I would say to somebody, the small amount of money you're going to pay me in fees and commissions is not going to change my life. It's going to change your life. On a funny note, and I wouldn't say it, but on a funny note, years and years and years ago, I was with a young advisor in Long Island, and the client had come in and said, how much are your commissions? And the young guy looked at him and smiled and said, if I was married to your daughter, how much would you want them to be? So, Jim, all I can tell you is this is the cost of doing business. Make it as simple as possible. And then, you could say even an A share is like riding a bus. You pay when you get on. You can ride the bus as long as you want. The B share is like a taxi. You don't pay till you get out, but the meter's running the whole time. A C share is like driving your own car. You don't pay. You don't feel the payment, but over time you're going to eventually have to replace your car. And I kid him and say a no-load fund's like driving your own car at night with no headlights. So the question should be not what are your fees and commissions, should I have an advisor in my corner?